Results out from PPC this morning show a 5% rise in turnover for the 6 months to March and a 10% rise in profits, helped by its cement operations in Zimbabwe and its aggregates and lime division. But the group says it's concerned about the outlook for the rest of the year. Well, joining me to chat about those concerns is Paul Stuiver. He's the CEO of PPC. Paul, thanks for coming in today. I know you've just finished the presentation, so a quick rush over to the studios. You say in the commentary that due to prevailing economic conditions, you're maintaining the dividend at 45 cents. So really this does tell us that you are quite cautious going forward, the outlook not looking really great at this stage.
Yeah, I think one of the issues for us is that we're not certain about the outlook. So we have economic indicators up and down at the moment, and our cement demand from month to month is going up and down. So we're not sure that we've actually hit the bottom of the cycle, as many people are predicting. And we have only 5 months left today to the end of our financial year. So what we are signaling is that we're not sure that any upward or a trend or recovery will actually occur in our financial year.
Now, of course, we know that most analysts are expecting growth of between 2.5 and 3% for this year. We are seeing the consumer starting to find its feet. We've had lots of interest rate cuts. The residential property market, that's a big user of cement from your company. Do you see any signs of life there at this stage?
Not at this stage, and that's partly the reason for our concern. So there are many economic models. Many people have economic predictors that predict that cement demand recovers 18% after interest rates come down. We are in that territory right now, but we're not seeing it on the ground. So you're testing all these predictions and they're not all coming true.
Yeah. Lyman Aggregates, that helped to buoy you during the period. And of course, you had reasonable growth despite the 15% drop in volumes in South Africa in cement. And so you saw Zimbabwe doing quite well. Lyman Aggregates, can those continue to support you in the period ahead?
Yeah, aggregates is closely aligned to the cement business, and they've benefited from road construction projects. So there is the same sort of concern about aggregates that we have on the cement side. But the lime business is an industrial chemical focused on the steel industry. The steel industry is showing a very, very strong recovery at the moment, and that's likely to continue for the year. So on the lime side, yes. On the aggregate side, we're a bit hesitant to forecast a significant improvement going forward.
So all things being equal, do you think you would have a repeat performance of the first half and the second half of the year?
No, I think what we are trying to signal is some concern.
So it could be worse?
Cement and PPC traditionally has a better second half than a first half, so it's difficult talking about the halves. What we are trying to signal is that the second half will probably not be as good as what it has been in the past.
Okay. World Cup, obviously everything hopefully should be built by now. There's a few projects still being finalised at the moment. Are you seeing infrastructure projects starting to come in to replace the projects that you might have been losing during the World Cup, or are they still very slow off the ground at this stage?
They're very slow off the ground. We tend to be a second-tier producer, so we typically, supplier. We supply to the big construction companies that execute the big projects. And what we're hearing from them is that new projects are very slow coming off the ground. Old projects are ending off. So there's at the moment a bit of a vacuum in the market of old projects ending and new projects starting, and that's also depressing cement demand.
Well, chatting to people in the market, they would expect next year to be a much better year for PPC. Do you see the same? Do you see 2011 as being your comeback year?
Yes, I think more 2011 than 2010. Again, if you work on all these economic models, economic indicators, the indications are that cement demand will recover towards the end of 2010, beginning of 2011. So quite a lot of uncertainty about 2010 and a lot more certainty and optimism about 2011.
What sorts of measures have you been taking due to the slowdown you're seeing in demand? Cost cutting, of course, you've had a bit of that. Anything else you've been doing?
I think cost cutting in an intelligent way. We in PPC are very fortunate. We have 7 last locations, 14 production units. So we can mix and match production units, logistics streams, and we have some very sophisticated.
And you can do that quite quickly, I'm sure.
Yes. So we can work out for any particular market the lowest cost to serve, how we can combine certain units to give us a low cost of production into a market, and that really helps us to improve our efficiencies.
How about some of the challenges going into the second half of the year? We have rising electricity costs in South Africa. Oil prices are also rising, and you're quite a big user of electricity. That forms a large part of your cost, doesn't it?
Not as large as most people think. Electricity only makes up about 5% of our costs. So a 30% increase in electricity increases our cost by 1.5%. What worries us though is what is the knock-on effect on the other 95% of our costs, whatever our suppliers, our employees.
So second round effects really?
There's a second round effect. So we are more concerned over the second round effect than what we are over the first round effect of electricity price increases.
Growing competition in the markets, is that a challenge for you as we head into the second half of the year?
It's not so much growing competition, it's more that the industry is running at under capacity. So everyone has spare capacity, and there's always is that motivation out there to do something to increase your sales because you have extra capacity. But that can destroy industries, and that means that one then has an abnormal price increase later on. We prefer to keep it stable. We're trying to keep cool heads. I mean, we're trying to keep the cement demand on an even keel given the economic circumstances.